I'm like, I see it. You know,
His
he's
backhanded
reading everybody.
reads.
Well, I could see him with some of
He's
his
gonna let
friends.
you know where you stand.
I think his like Jedi quarters would be like Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
All the wigs on the wall.
Yes.
These are
These
all
are
my
my
babies.
babies.
Hello, and welcome to Star Gaze, where we're not only force sensitive, we're fierce sensitive.
Yeah.
Period.
Season finale. How exciting for us.
No, I can't believe it's already here.
I know we did a whole season of this show, which is super exciting.
In
I
like
can't wait
2
to do
months.
more. I know. I can't wait to do more. So it's gonna be really sad taking a break to edit these and put them out. But also excited for them to actually make it on the air.
Into the webs.
I'm wearing my Star Wars shirt today. Very on brand, very prepared to do this today.
I'm not.
It's okay. It's okay. Some of us are fans.
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding. Today we are talking about what is probably the greatest motion picture
Of all
ever
time.
made. Yes. And that would be Attack of the Clones, which is known for being the best Star Wars movie, everybody's favorite. And is now getting a lot of appreciation after The Last Jedi. So, which I will go on record and say I liked The Last Jedi. Thank you very much.
Same.
Yeah. I realize that's not going to get us a ton of followers, but I enjoy them. Boom.
Oh.
You are up there. Okay. Looks like I'm way behind you. Wait for me. It's like you're running away from Mace Windu. He's like, I'm gonna get you, mother. No. So we just watched it. We have fresh eyes on this. We just watched it together. I've seen it a million times, but I love that we got like a really recent take on this because it did remind me a lot about what's wrong with it.
Really reassess that for you.
Yeah, but there are things to love. And there's fun trivia about it and all kinds of stuff. So diving right in. I guess we'll start with, because we started with when we did Phantom Menace, we started with kind of what we remember about it being released, and kind of that time. Do you remember anything about this movie coming out, leading up to that, any of that stuff?
I remember seeing it in theaters. I remember seeing the merch for the Clone Troopers everywhere. Like just absolutely everywhere, which I thought was pretty cool. I remember liking it in theaters. I wasn't too critical of it.
That's good.
Although going back and watching it now, it's like, what?
What? Okay. I remember, similar to the Phantom Menace, I remember the trailer coming out. and being all about it. And I remember all the TV spots that were on TV for it and being just waiting so long for this movie. And I remember my friends counting down like the days till this came out and being very, very excited to watch it. I remember this kind of bothers me watching it because they showed a lot about, Yoda igniting his lightsaber and things from kind of that sequence in the TV spots, which was really cool. But I also think takes away like the big moment, like when he actually does it in the movie.
Right. Because it's supposed to be a pretty significant moment.
Yeah, it's like a big deal. So I thought it was weird that they spoiled that. I remember watching it in theaters and having, I guess, like a fan bias of like I'm loving every minute of this. But objectively looking at it, it's like, ooh, wow. there, there are some moments where this movie just drags, but I remember the moment in the lightsaber battle when Yoda ignites his lightsaber, and I remember distinctly one guy in the theater just starts yelling and he goes, "Here we go!" Like in a silent theater, and I was like, okay, this guy's like really excited for this.
He's
And then
into
he
it.
and then he started flipping around all the Yoda, not the guy. He started flipping.
Just some guy in the theater doing somersaults off the
Yeah,
walls and shit.
yeah. No, Yoda starts, doing all his flips in the battle, and I remember kind of everybody going, "Huh." Like, while Christopher Lee, who's like one of the most legendary actors of all time, is just kind of waving his his lightsaber around. It was very odd. But I was like, this is good. Uh and just really tried to enjoy it anyway, as well as in the theater. But I was also 12 and didn't care that much. So
I loved it.
yeah. You're like, this is perfect.
This is
wouldn't
amazing.
wouldn't change a thing. I remember being very irritated. I was like, why isn't he a puppet?
Right.
And I know that's
I think they
the
really wanted to
exact,
like showcase what they could do with the new like
yeah,
CGI stuff.
yeah, which was George's whole thing with this whole trilogy. And I was like, what? None of the clones are real. Like none of this is watching it now, like today, like all the times like Samuel L. Jackson's interacting with them in the battle. I was like, God, he must have hated this. He's talking to nobody. Yeah, I guess we can talk about how we thought about it now watching the movie.
Oh, watching it as an adult with a whole new frame of mind and context
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And somehow, whenever we watch Star Wars now, we put it through the lens of Drag Race, which is so choice. It's so
Well,
hilarious at how well
especially
everything
after
fits.
our last episode.
Right.
Game changer. Um I think for me one of the big moments is Jar Jar entering the room for the first time. It's just a
Yeah.
glorious moment.
It's definitely like a Shangela popping out of the box moment. It's 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 definitely it's good.
I loved it.
And his new
Um
robes, like
yeah,
he was
he was
serving.
great. He
He
was
looked
ready to
wonderful.
return. He had really worked on his drag and it shows. Um this movie.
The more I watch it as an adult, the more I'm just like, how did no one see these red flags with Anakin and Padme?
That's
It- it's so obvious and so like in everyone's face. It's like, okay, no one saw that. No one's picking up on this.
yeah, and we've talked about this a lot. And I think again, George Lucas has a lot of ideas. Um And he's really good about innovation, technology, all of that stuff. A writer,
Maybe not so much.
yeah. A lot of the dialogue in this movie, I'm like, you just can't. Like, nobody can make this good. And the way he writes Padme and Anakin in this movie makes me very concerned. Like, what relationships have you been in prior? Because for some reason, I think Padme needs a lot of I don't know what happened to Padme leading up to this. Like, I need a lot more of her story personally, I think, because something must have made her this way where she latches onto these types of guys who are just awful. Rush Clovis included from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Right? Like him and Anakin, like, wow, like you pick winners, honey. You just pick the greatest.
She's in it for one thing and one thing only.
Yeah. Which also separate conversation probably that she needs to be having. And I'm not going to say that the age difference between her and Anakin is weird. I think it's definitely weirder in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I do think it's weird though that she spends maybe at most half a week with Anakin and Phantom Menace, doesn't see him for 10 years. Then over the course of another maybe half a week is like, no, this is the one.
I'll marry him.
And that's
This is it.
while during said half week he slaughters like a village.
There's an attempt made on her life.
Yeah. Maybe take a minute, Pads, and
Like, sit back, assess everything going
yeah.
on.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't date him. Maybe, see what's going on there.
If
But
this
maybe not
mass murderer
commit.
thing plays out,
Yeah, maybe not commit. Maybe chat with him a little bit about why he needs to slaughter a village.
I really think that when they're in the chariot there, she's like, I'm gonna die anyway. I might as well. She wrote some checks that I don't think she really wanted to cash.
Yeah. And then she's in too deep.
Mm-hmm. You
Maybe.
know, if she wanted to back out, maybe in the back of her mind, well, he did just slaughter an entire village. Maybe that's not the safest option for me here.
Yeah.
The council still assigned him to me. I can't like change that. There's paperwork involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
She got caught up in the moment and then had to follow through. And I don't think she really intended to.
Yeah. Or maybe she's into it. Maybe it's when he slaughters a village that she's like,
My man love me.
I mean, I'm not saying she has to like that side of herself, but maybe it's there.
You know, if you can't beat it, embrace it.
Yeah. Very impressive that they keep it a secret because her servants are everywhere.
Oh, there's got to be so much
Like,
gossip going on
because I mean,
for everyone she brings back to her villa. I'm sure he's not the first.
even with all the NDAs in the world that they could have signed, like somebody's got to tell somebody outside of that circle.
Yeah, for a high-ranking senator, that kind of gossip, that's worth money.
Yeah. Man, like her poor family, like to raise such a disappointment. Also, very warped view of what poor people look like.
Oh,
Or refugees. Yeah.
absolutely. I'm gonna dress down for this flight back home. No one will ever notice.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it, I think, until this viewing, but I was like, whoa, like her privilege really skewed. Like she couldn't even dress it down to go incognito on a shuttle.
Nope.
She just can't do it. And man, that really bothers me about her.
Especially because she's supposed to be a very like for the people kind of senator. And it's like you
Right.
really don't have an idea of what it's like to be to be the people you
No.
represent, do you?
No. And it gives a lot of weight to that Clone Wars arc where she has to have her servant Tekla like tell her about what's going on with regular people. And
Right.
she's like, yeah, well, you know, my family doesn't really have power or like and she's like, oh, she's like, that's weird because the lights are on all the time in my penthouse. Like,
What is that like? That's so weird.
yeah. So I think that I was like the most bothered by her in this movie out of like any other project in Star Wars. Like, I just don't understand her. Well, I guess I do understand her, but I just don't like her.
Right. And not to mention we start out with Corday absolutely sacrificing herself and Amidala being completely unfazed.
Yeah.
Like
She's
the
like,
next day, she's like, I'm gonna see my Jedi friends.
I'm going on a trip. Oh my god. Poor Corday.
She
Never stood
looked
a
great
chance.
up until that explosion.
Yeah, she was really serving it until halfway down that ramp.
She set the runway on fire.
What? Charlotte. Oh. Yeah, she's dead.
That was a rough elimination.
Oh god. Um Also, what you said about like how like who's paying for the clone army and how does nobody how does nobody notice?
Right. Like, did Sifo-Dyas had to put a credit card down or something? And whoever's doing the accounting for the Jedi Temple and the Jedi Order, fire them. Like,
Yeah.
how does that kind of expense go unnoticed? Their tax return must be shot. Like the amount of
Yeah.
amendments they're gonna have to do for 10 years of clone payments. Are you kidding me?
I'm just assuming because I'm under the impression Dooku somehow in some way eventually pays for that with I guess Sidious's black card. But I'm like, where does he get the money? It's
Take my
funny,
Southwest card, I get miles.
and we just watched Andor where like Mon Mothma is doing backflips and giving up her daughter to betrothed marriages and all this stuff just to fund a tiny little rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
But someone just bought this clone army that they've been making for 10 years. And I don't know. I have questions.
Right. Were they annual automatic payments that came out? And no one was just like, huh, interesting.
And
We're spending a lot more this year.
nobody cares about Yaddle.
No.
She's been gone for 10 years. Nobody's thought to try and write her a letter.
Just walking around. Has anyone seen her? She's been real quiet lately. Maybe she's
I
on
just want to see
assignment.
I just want to see one blue milk carton with her face on it in this movie. And it's not there. Have you seen Yaddle?
But they always say I'm missing over their head.
Oh, poor Yaddles. Um, there is a point in this movie where I just get really bored, and it's always around like the Geonosis part,
Yeah. Which is
right?
weird because that's where like so much of the action takes place too. But it's like,
And I think maybe I'm just waiting so long for it to pick up by that point that I'm like, I'm no longer invested.
yeah, I do like the Coliseum scene though when everyone like lights their lightsabers and they have that initial
Yeah,
battle. But after
yeah,
that, I'm kind of like,
yeah.
it took
And
us
then
so long
even
to get here.
right, and then even when the clones show up, I'm like, I don't need this, which is weird because That's kind of like what the whole title is about, is that one scene when the clones attack.
Right.
But
We don't get them to the last like 30 minutes of the movie or 40 minutes
yeah,
of the movie.
yeah. I would argue the title for this movie is all wrong, by the way. A lot of this, the whole thing with Anakin's family is very awkward to me.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really see him interact at all with the Larses all that much. But Yoda's like, yeah, take his kids to them for some reason. like, like Yoda is very reminiscent for like how like this the whole system with social work operates right now. Where he's like, as long as they're related, it's fine.
Yeah, that's great. It doesn't matter what kind of home they're in, or
Just throw them over there.
and they probably weren't happy about it because when they took off, they took their droid. So then the next time they hear from them is a kid.
Yeah, that whole thing is just so weird. One, I also think it's weird that they're like, yeah, we looked everywhere for Shmi and could not find her. Anakin finds her in a day. And yes, Jedi, he does a lot of police work. But he really makes like two stops. Like he talks to some Jawas. He don't, you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
doesn't take him
there
that long.
wasn't like a crazy amount of detective work.
Yeah.
I think it was a setup. Buyer's remorse, literally.
Yeah, seriously. And the funeral, I think, is really awkward. First of all, Padme has an entire wardrobe on all of her ships,
Just in case.
but is wearing her action senator outfit for the funeral, which I think is really bizarre. Like all of the other outfits she wore on the planet leading up to that would have been way more appropriate for a funeral.
Yeah. That blue one she had was really pretty.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Just throw that on. And she's like, I'm aware of this.
I feel like we're gonna be going somewhere right after.
Yeah.
I
I
want to be
feel
prepared.
like in the script it says I'm going right to Geonosis. I'm just gonna wear this. Thanks. And then R2 comes flying out and is like, hey, you got a Skype call. And they all get on the ship, and then there's not even a like, oh, let me tell them where we're going, or like, thanks for the hospitality, or like, thanks for all that blue. Padme's just like, no, we're leaving.
No,
Like,
we gotta go right now.
turns the car on, like, we're out of here.
3PO be damned.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, Baru taught you how to make all of that stuff.
This place is way too poor. It's really bringing me down. We gotta go.
All this beige. um
The beige.
Yeah. Which I guess I understand, because I guess that's how I operate with literally everywhere I go where I live right now. I'm just like, yeah, we're done here.
We gotta go. Bye.
I really don't want to interact with the locals. People who
That's what me
choose
and
to be
Perry are too.
here.
When we go
Yeah.
to stuff, we're just like, we'll get in for 5 minutes, say hi, and then leave.
I really don't want to get to know anybody who chooses to be here.
Right. We'll hit Taco Bell on the way home and call it a day.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds bomb. I think I'm gonna DoorDash.
Ooh, it does.
Thank you. Thank you. This next part won't make sense unless you watch highlights, which is our other show. But
and you should link down below.
Padme gives me a lot of Hoso Teratoma vibes from Dracula.
Oh no, I'm never gonna be able to unsee that now.
Right? Because she's kind of a user, and especially the way she leads Anakin
and a
on.
manipulator too. No, we can't. I shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry. We can't. But do it.
Yeah, but do it. Anakin's a Borod all over this place.
No.
Which makes his temperament make a lot more sense. Ew, are they this? Ew, they're the same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
Damn.
Watch Dracula, everybody. You'll see what we're talking about. Ew.
I would argue though, Padme's drag is much better than Hoso's.
That's true. But I feel like Padme's also a little one note. I'm like, yeah, that's a Padme outfit. Uh she doesn't really wow me anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's gowns,
Like I
and
get
that one
it.
action center look. Oh my God, Obi-Wan's hair in this movie. I can't. I hate it.
I don't hate it.
Really, I'm not a fan.
It's not my fave per se, but I don't hate it, especially when he's like, knocked around a little bit. Um, it doesn't look that bad when it's a little disheveled. And especially in the Camino rain, music video worthy. Yeah, it is. It is great.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I don't like it.
What really upsets me watching it now is all I could think about was the Tales of the Jedi episode where they gave him that hair back, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense
It
in the
doesn't.
timeline.
It does not.
Which then I was like, is it a wig?
Obi-Wan's just constantly wearing hair pieces to match
Yeah.
his mood that day.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe it's just like a really sickening lace front. And maybe for that one training session with Ahsoka, he was like, let me bust this out.
Yeah, you know what? Let me bring back an old winner.
Yeah, let me do this. Time for a throwback.
Everyone's staring him walking around the Jedi Temple.
They're like, oh no, this one?
Thought you retired that.
And he's like, but my other one is full of laser bolts from the battlefield. They have to their own backwater.
I love this narrative for his life.
There's no
he is
reason
he
why
is
he
the
can't.
sassiest drag queen in Attack of the Clones, though.
Yeah, I'm like, I see it.
His
He's reading
backhanded reads.
everybody. Well, I could see him with some lace
He's gonna let you
fronts.
know where you stand.
I think his like Jedi quarters would be like Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
All the wigs on the wall.
Yes.
These are
These
all
are
my
my
babies.
babies. uh,
Yes.
yes, thank you.
Don't
Running
touch them.
into
You're not trained to handle them.
running into the temple for them in Revenge of the Sith. Where are they? Did they hurt you?
That's why he really went back.
Yeah.
It wasn't to fix the signal.
Just slaughtering troopers to get to his wigs.
You know what? Yoda's supportive. He goes with them. He's like, you know what? Need your wigs, you do. Go with you, I
Yeah.
will.
Human hair, they were. You do what you gotta do. Really. This is a very interesting episode. We're not talking about the movie at all anymore. I love Christopher Lee in this movie. Dooku in this movie is just super good. Oh, wait,
yes.
what happened?
Mace caught up with me.
It's like, get out of here. There you are. Why now you're tiny? What the hell is happening? Oh, I can make you bigger. Oh, I could have fixed you this whole time. Whoa.
Apologies.
That's wild.
Obi-Wan is sticking a lightsaber through my head as we speak.
Talk about my wigs ever again.
Silly queer.
Hey, they made him bi, so
that's true. That's true.
Too far off.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, he is. That's why
we love representation.
I wonder if he has like a full drag look somewhere.
I bet.
Like
it's Satine. That's his alter ego.
Ew. How do they? That makes the episodes where they interact very impressive.
Very Parent Trap.
Wow.
Oh, can we talk about how annoying Boba Fett is in this movie? I fucking hate that kid.
Yeah, he's not good. He's just not great.
Like the quintessential like brat.
Mm-mm.
Him to land on a depth charge. Like, bye.
Yeah, he's so annoying. Like I can't say that enough.
His character's super annoying in Clone Wars too.
I would argue he's just kind of always annoying because I would
Yeah, it's
also
just like who he is.
like even when he's played by Tamara Morrison in like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, I find him still kind of annoying. Like, you know,
Not much has changed.
yeah, and his crazy eyes. I can't.
Cad
He's
Bane was onto something.
always worried about stuff he shouldn't be worried about. No, thank you. Not into Boba Fett. I do appreciate
And
that.
He didn't like Obi-Wan the minute he set eyes on him, it's giving homophobia.
Yeah, he was like, "That's not your real hair, and I don't like you." um, the chase scene is really cool. I just don't like that he talks in it. Like, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Like you're
one
really excited about
pilot.
your dad committing murder.
Yeah, which separate issue that he will spend a lifetime processing out. And it's gonna take the Tusken Raiders that Anakin slaughtered to really break him out of that eventually, which is
Full
yeah,
circle.
weird tie-in. Um, I do appreciate that the chasing in this movie is why he ends up being able to follow Han Solo in a Empire Strikes Back. He's like, no, we've done this trick before. I knew this guy
In there,
once.
done that.
Yeah. This one guy tried to date my dad and do this. We're not doing it.
That scene with them on Camino, like the tension.
You can cut it with a knife. Just to
Obi-Wan was
circle back.
there to find a bounty hunter, all right.
He knows what he likes.
And find him, I did.
And I liked what I found.
It's contestant number one for me.
He's like, I didn't know you were Polynesian.
That changes everything. Come, let's
He's
go play
like,
in the rain.
it's like, don't worry, I never found you. He's like, I've been searching the galaxy for you my whole life. Random fact, just because I'm looking at some random trivia for this movie. The working title for this movie was Jar Jar's Big Adventure.
Oh, if only they had left it.
Yeah. They did it in response to the backlash of him from Phantom Menace.
Period.
And I wish they had just kept it. And it doesn't make any more sense as a title for this movie than the one it actually has.
Yeah. And arguably, Jar Jar reshapes the galaxy in one spell swoop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know why he's put in charge. Like there had to have been other people.
Anybody.
Yeah. Like, no. And is there a reason like she can't just ask somebody else or just be like, hey, call me if something comes up?
Why couldn't she just participate via hologram, like, or not hologram, like other
Yeah.
senators do when they're
It
absent
happens all the
from a Senate
time.
vote? Like, they don't have to know her location.
Yeah.
Just has to like beam in.
I don't understand.
If only Senator Amidala were here. Shut up.
Yeah, like,
You know what you're
well,
doing.
she could be. Yeah.
If only she received long distance phone calls.
um, and she must have really awesome Zoom backgrounds. You know,
Right.
she could be anywhere. Um, what else is there to love about this movie? I really love Count Dooku. He's just so proper and distinguished.
And his
I
cape with the gold clasp. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I would
Yes.
absolutely marry him for his money. And I would be into that. Mm. Um,
You'd be taken care of.
it is really weird that he's the main
Because he
villain of
works for
this
the most
movie.
powerful guy in the galaxy.
He's got a very good job, and
Yeah.
he's
He's very
already
well connected.
he's already a count and potentially going to rule the galaxy. That's a big win for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's got to have amazing benefits, first of all, and his house, epic. Love that for him. Um,
It's just the whole package.
yeah, I would do anything for that man. And it is weird that we go like over half the movie without seeing him. So don't love that. But when we do, it's worth it.
And I love that so when Obi-Wan tells them about Sidious, the council is very just okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, you're like, well, that's stupid.
So there's no way that could be true. Forget about it.
Yeah. Which how hilarious, like Dooku really just kind of like lays it out. He's like, no, this is what's going on.
Yeah, this is the reality situation. And Yoda and Mace are just like, he's off his
Yeah. Obi-Wan's like, no, it isn't, Dukes. And
meds. Oh, Grandbig, you're so funny.
yeah. And then later he's like, well, could it be? And they're like, no, don't worry about it.
No,
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be
he's
great.
lying. Forget about
Yeah. You know who you should tell this to is Palpatine. He'd probably think it's really funny.
it. You get a riot out of that.
Stupid idiots. Um, this is why they get killed. And I don't feel a bit sorry for them at
No.
all. Well, we've been talking about nonsense about this entire time
You know what?
for
It's the
this movie.
real substance of the movie, I feel.
I
We
really
often overlook things.
I want to like this movie, but I don't.
I just see it. I have to watch it to get to Revenge of the Sith, and I like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. There are parts that I appreciate about it because of Clone Wars, and other things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Tales of the Jedi, I'm like, wow, because it gives a whole other layer to Dooku. So then now after seeing it like over the past couple months and then watching this again and seeing Dooku, I'm like, oh wow. Um, and then his interaction with Mace in this movie, I'm like, wow, like they have history too. So I'm like, this is cool.
It's almost like if they had taken this movie and like instead of doing the moment when they received the clone army, did another movie before it to explain how all this came to be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like the
Yeah.
workings of Dooku and Cypher and all that. That would have been kind of cool as a filler movie.
Yeah. But it's not.
It's not.
Yeah. What
Can't change
could
that.
have been? Yeah. Um, I just feel this is a lot of missed opportunities for me, and like a mishmash of weird stuff that bleeds into the original trilogy. I don't know. Um, and I'm glad we have Dooku, but even him as a villain in this movie just feels really weird. Like taking it the prequel trilogy just as it was, very weird. And it's like you could have just kept Maul. Like you you know what I mean?
Right.
Very weird.
He's laying in a junkyard somewhere.
Yeah, and when you really think about it, it's like we get Dooku at the second half of this movie for a little bit, and then he's in maybe 5 minutes of Revenge of the Sith,
And that's kind of it
and
for him.
he's done. Yeah, very bizarre. So without the Clone Wars and everything else really beefing up this arc, there's not much to him.
Right.
Yeah, which is it's just like a huge waste of Christopher Lee.
Another huge selling point though for Clone Wars because they flesh out characters so well.
Yeah, which is why I always tell people like like if you're gonna dive into this trilogy, especially, requirement is Clone Wars, and now I would argue Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. What a
This is
way
just
to end a season.
this is like my least favorite Star Wars movie. It is like if I were to rank them all, this would probably be on the bottom. It just is. Um, but it is there, and we
It is
did
what it
watch it.
is.
Yeah.
And these are our thoughts.
I'm gonna look up its Rotten Tomatoes score, actually. Oh, that'll be fun. Here it is, and it is oh, it's not that bad.
Oh, look at that.
It's a 65%, just barely into tomato territory for the critics. And it is a solid 56% audience ratings. But you know what I'm guessing is that's because it's now skewed because of how people felt about The Last Jedi, which I'm going to look up right now. 100%. So the audience score for The Last Jedi is 42%. So that's why. So it gave it kind of a boost.
So, in perspective,
Yeah. Although
it wasn't that bad.
fun fact for the critics, though, it has a 91%. The Last Jedi.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I appreciate because I actually think The Last Jedi is a great film for several different reasons. But I'm also not a toxic, messed up fanboy.
So, what is the gayest part of Attack on the Clones for you?
Obi-Wan.
Yes.
His hair, him looking longingly into Jango's eyes. The way it moves.
I was gonna say Anakin's shirtless scene in the bedroom, but it was also my favorite scene when I was little. So,
Okay, well,
I'm a little biased.
is it the gayest thing or is it just something
For the
gay people
gays.
enjoy? Yeah. Okay. um
Maybe C-3PO.
well, he's just always.
What an icon.
But yeah, now I'm looking at Obi-Wan and I'm like, that dude's on prep. He is ready to rock. uh, You're welcome, everyone. Subscribe. uh, yeah, this is great. Oh God.
I can't wait to listen to this again.
Me too. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of people who enjoy this show. This is gonna be a hit sensation. What else? Anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I think we've thoroughly covered all that there is to Attack of the Clones.
Thank God. Now we can get into some real good stuff next season. Eventually.
TBD.
Oh God. Well, I don't want to stop. I enjoy making these. Um, it's so sad we're done with the season, but we'll jump into season 2, I think, fairly quickly.
It's not the same without Star Gaze.
It really isn't. It's my favorite show right now. But yeah, I hope everybody's enjoyed it out there. I hope we get a lot of Star Wars fans on board. Maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll think about some ways to amp up season 2. Maybe we'll have some guests on or something.
Yes.
Yeah, let me think about that. But I've enjoyed making this show. I feel like our show's going to appeal to a very niche part of the fandom.
But an important one nonetheless.
Yes, but if you are here, thanks. Oh shit, I hit my mic. Anyways, but yes, thank you. If you've listened to us, if you've watched us, if you subscribed, commented, any of that stuff, all of which will be very awkward to say if nobody does those things, by the way. But we appreciate you, and we're happy to have you on this journey with us. And we've enjoyed making the show, and we are going to continue to make it, whether you like it or not. And yeah, it's just been a blast. And by the time this airs, it'll be 2023. And because
so Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah, we are recording this particular one on the 28th of December, right before the year ends. And so 2023, I know we have a lot of stuff coming up. Bad Batch season 2, Ahsoka, Mandalorian.
It's gonna be a busy next season.
Yeah, good stuff coming. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of good announcements at Celebration coming up in the next, I don't think that happens in 5 months. So it's gonna be so good. So we'll have plenty of stuff to cover and other topics that we already know we want to discuss, and of course jumping into some of the already released canon material that we want to cover, more of the films. We'll probably talk about Clone Wars. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. So
it's been so fun. I can't wait for next season.
Me too. So if you would like to stick around with our show, you can always catch all the past episodes and all of the future episodes right here on PG Media. So subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those. There's also, in the meantime, other content you can watch on the channel if you enjoy me and Zach. We are all over this BZ. If you want to check out some of the other content on here. And with that being said, I hope you maybe watch some Star Wars. Watch Attack of the Clones.
Make it a resolution.
Yeah. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Watch Attack of the Clones. Just do it. And then watch Clone Wars immediately after so you don't feel dirty. And then, other than that, thank you for being with us this season, and may the fierce be with you.